Hello everyone and welcome back to DaVinci Guitar. I'm Abigail, this is Jim. Today we're going to be continuing our Back to the Basics for Beginner Guitarists with episode 3 covering the dominant chords. We're excited to have this series and offer it for all the beginner guitarists out there who want something a little bit more basic so that you can just get started playing guitar right away. And also even for any advanced folks who maybe aren't sure if they have all of their open position dominant chords mastered. That's what this series is here for. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the dominant chords today. But before we go ahead and play through them in the musical alphabet, we need to have some theory time. So for a dominant chord, what exactly makes it up? A dominant chord, as you may already know, is a root, a third, a fifth, and a flat seventh. That flat seventh really adds that dominant flair. So that's the crucial note that you need to have added to your chord for the dominant sound. When we consider in the key of C, our good old natural faithful friend, we would think about a dominant chord as C, E, G, and B flat. And that's a dominant chord in the key of C, and it works through any of the other keys that we'll be playing, all the chords we'll be playing today. Let's go ahead and start, of course, with the note A, because that's how we start the musical alphabet and the real alphabet too. Always a good starting place. The form we're going to use here is this, playing the first or the last 5 strings, root note A. And again, that's an A, a C sharp, an E, and a G. Now, we're going to go ahead and play a B7. We call it a 7. You'll see that note, the number 7 written after the chord, and that indicates it's dominant. So you could see it written as B7, and that will indicate to you that you need to flat that 7th and use the form that we're given to you now, which is this. Play the last 5 strings, skipping over that E note. Again, this is a B, a D, an F sharp, and an A. And that's your B dominant chord in open position. So now let's move on to our C dominant chord. For our C dominant chord, here's the form we're going to want to use, and we're going to play those last 5 strings. We want the C and the bass. Listen to that. And that's the form for a C dominant chord in open position. Next, we're going to move on to a D dominant 7, D7, D dominant chord. Many ways you can hear it in music because we like to have different lingo. So a D7 chord, it's going to be this. And you're going to play the last 4 strings because we want the D in the bass. There you go. Now we're going to play an E dominant 7 chord, an E dominant chord, which of course is going to be right here. This form, playing all 6 strings. Now we're going to move on to an F dominant 7th chord. So we're going to play it right here like this, playing those last 4 strings. Note that form on the screen with the corresponding notes. Root 3rd, 5th, flat 7th for a dominant chord. Perfect. Now, lastly, we got to complete the alphabet of music with a G7 chord. So we're going to come right here. We're simply going to use 2 fingers, as you can see on the screen, and play all of those notes. Perfect. So that right there for you is the dominant chords in the open position, A through G. So now you are able to look at any piece of music and be able to play in open position with those dominant chords. And also from our previous videos, you have major and minor. So now you, even as a beginner guitarist, are set to go out and play your first gig. Do it. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jim, who's going to continue. Jim, take it away.
Thanks, Abigail. So once again, we're going to continue with our dominants, A through G. And what we're hoping to establish is that we can play it in 4, 3, 2, and 1. But right now, I'm just going to establish how to play it in 4. So this is what we do. A7. And back to A. And that's it.
Awesome. Well, you all now have a foundational knowledge of the major, the minor, and the dominant chords in open position, along with theory that you need to know to be able to play these. We hope that this has been a helpful series back to the basics for the beginner guitarist, and that you'll be able to apply this knowledge in your own playing. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more of this as we continue at a later date with more of the embellishment open position chords as well. We'll make sure to keep you updated on when that series is out. Thanks for watching DaVinci Guitar.